Hi, everybody. This is the first segment of Nick on the 90s, and for my first movie, I'm going to pick City of Industry. It came out in 1997. It was very hard to find because it was only a VHS copy up to probably very recently, and it wasn't streaming anywhere, so it was very difficult to find it. A very obscure film. Directed by John Irwin. If you recognize John Irwin, he directed like Next of Kin, Hamburger Hill, and Schwarzenegger in Raw Deal. Cine Industry is definitely one of those independent, almost kind of straight-to-video kind of a movie, so it's kind of the same fabric of almost like Keys to Tulsa. And very much you see the elements of Reservoir Dogs, very much a crime story. I don't consider this movie a neo-noir, but mostly a crime drama piece. It stars Harvey Keitel, Stephen Dorff, Timothy Hutton, and a very fresh young face, Famke Janssen. If you want to see the movie, I think it's streaming on Tubi now, which is interesting because I've been calling for you for years to look for it. We never could find a copy. Now it's on VHS.
Probably for a limited time.
Right, yeah, for a limited time, then you have to get it. Which is interesting to know because we see a lot of films starring Harvey Keitel as a supporting role. Here, he is in the movie almost like 90% of the time. Mm-hmm. In fact, there's scenes where he's by himself. So it's very much like those crime scenes of the 90s where a group of criminals get together to do a job, but one of them sabotages. And then Harvey Keitel is going to go after the saboteur, which is, of course, Stephen Dorff. Okay, it's written by Kevin Solars. I haven't really found much about Ken Solars. And I would say that's one of the kind of the weakness points of it. It seems a very green, from a second draft at most, kind of a script. I think that's where it kind of lulls. I think I like the aesthetic of it. It's a very scratchy kind of a look, very gritty indie late 90s movie, and I think that's why I kind of gravitate towards it. If you like those kind of things, it's very much where I think the writing needs a little bit of help to it, because it lulls right where the weakest point for writers is the end of the second act and the beginning of the third act. It kind of weakens where Harvey Keitel is building up steam to go after Stephen Dorff again. And I think the ending kind of leaves much to imagination. There's not much for the female characters to do in this movie. There's need to be more of Famke Janssen's a little bit fleshed out a little bit more, and I think her just being devoutly religious doesn't really help at all. And I think something like that be interesting to know that, especially if you want to be a writer, watch kind of these kind of movies and think about what you can do. And also I think a lot of the side characters of Stephen Dorff going to buy a gun from these shady people that are very stereotypical black gangsters, and you have stereotypical Asian gangsters where very much not really, they're just stereotypes. And I think you need to flesh out. And then, not to mention, you have Elliot Gould, who only has a few lines in the movie. You have to something like that, right? Yeah.
Forgotten he was in it.
Right. So, if you like Romeo's Bleeding, if you like those B kind of movies, almost neo-noirs, crime thrillers, late 90s, check out City of Industry.
Yeah, so Nick, I just wanted to throw a question to you here. Kyle from Go Film Reviews here. You described this film to me as very much part of that collection of Quentin Tarantino-esque ripoffs. Do you still feel like it's a Quentin Tarantino ripoff, or is it something closer to, like I thought, for example, Michael Mannish?
I think it's very much of the influence of Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
It's very much like that. Very much like Thursday. We critique Thursday. So if you like those kind of things and you understand the flaws of it and appreciate it, you will enjoy it. Not to mention, there's not very many movies. The only I can think about at the top of my head is Bad Lieutenant, where Harvey Keitel is the star.
That's true.
Yeah. So, available right now, I think, on Tubi. And other than that, if you have a VH copy, show it to me. That's the last time I've ever seen it, and I haven't seen it on DVD as well. So check out City of Industry.